Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and go over your standard deviation practice assignment. Okay, so we really just had one problem where you were calculating the standard deviation by hand. And that's this first one. I know on the first assignment that I had put out, it didn't have any numbers, so forgot to do that. So calculate the standard deviation for this data here. Okay, 4, 10, 12, 2, 15, and 5. All right, so when we did that, the mean was 8. Okay, so remember standard deviation is that average distance from the mean. Average distance from 8. All right, so we did the little deviation score, then we squared it for the 4. Deviation for the 10. Deviation for the 12. Deviation for the 2, and so on. So I did the deviation for each one of these, how far away they were from the mean, and then I squared it. Okay, then I summed it up, divided by n minus 1. So since there were 6 pieces of data here, I divided by 5. That then gave me a variance of 26. So then the square root of that was the standard deviation of 5.099. So that's that number there. All right, now down here, explain why you could have looked at the data and then the answer choices up here and determined the standard deviation. Well, our numbers are going from 2 to 15. So I can tell you the average distance isn't going to be 26. I mean, the range from 2 to 15 in itself is 13. Okay, so the average distance from the mean isn't going to be as large as 12, 10, 15, 0. It's not going to be 0. That would mean every single piece of data, in order to have a standard deviation of 0, every single piece of data has to be the same value. All right, so the only one that was in between those was the 5.099. You can just tell based on the spread. Had that range, had that average difference, it can't be 0. All right, now, if we want an average distance to the mean, why can't we just add up all those differences to the mean and then take that average? So do you remember when I had the students in class line up, I had all of those people below the mean had a negative deviation score. All those people above the mean had a positive deviation score. So if I just added up all those negative distances plus all the positive differences, those would sum to 0. And it would look like the average distance from the mean is 0 when it is actually not. So that's why we have to do the squaring of that. If you have the variance, how do you get the standard deviation? So we already talked about that, how the variance is the standard deviation squared. So I need to square root it. All right. Ooh, a standard deviation of 0. So if the standard deviation is actually 0, that means the average distance from the mean is 0. Well, if you happen to have a deviation score of 0, that means you are the mean. So every single piece of data is the same value. That's how the average distance from the mean could be 0. All right, hope that helped you.